Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in. So today I developed some kind of early version of a actor heap viewer type of environment for Ocarina of Time 3D. This is hopefully going to help with some SRM research, and I would like feedback on this setup so that hopefully I can make it easier to use. The reason I'm making this video is because right now it's a bit obtuse, I guess. So I'm just going to restart my 3DS and show how this works from the beginning. So right now, to do this, the way I have it set up right now, you either need to install DevKit Pro, which is kind of like a homebrew development suite library environment toolchain type thing, and use the version of GDB that it supplies, or I will also show an alternative way that's a little bit less convenient that you can do this without that. But if you're going to go to the GDB route, which I highly recommend, what you're going to do is when you are on the home menu, open up the Luma menu, make sure your wireless is turned on before you do this, go to debugger options and hit enable debugger. Hopefully you'll get this OK message, and when you go back to this menu you should see an IP address up in the top right of the screen now. Okay, so now you can just go ahead and start up OoT3D. Now once you've started OoT3D, open that Luma menu back up again, okay, and go to process list, and then if you just press up it'll take you to the end of the list and you should see CTR app. That's the OoT3D process, so just press A to turn that on. And now what we're going to do is, so now we're going to start up GDB. Okay, so here's GDB right here, and you want to type target remote and then this IP address and then colon port number. Okay, now before you press enter, before you actually run that command, go back to your 3DS and exit back to the OoT3D, close that Luma menu so the game is running, and then press enter on GDB, and it should attach to OoT3D. So let me get this bottom screen out of here. Okay, so GDB is now remotely attached to my OoT3D process. So for example, I can type continue and the game will continue to run, or I can press Control C to stop it. So for now, let's continue. I'll just start up this file. So how do we actually use, oh yeah, I have some other cheats enabled as well. Those don't affect this though. So how do you dump the heap? That's the big question. So press D-pad up to go into frame advance mode. While you're in frame advance you can either press D-pad up again to turn it off. You can use D-pad left to advance one frame at a time. So as you can see, I can advance one frame at a time. Okay, so while you're in frame advance mode, press D down. Okay, and that will set the heap data. And here's what I mean by this. Now if we go back into GDB, after we've set the heap data, interrupt the game, and now here's what you want to type. X means dump some data, 1, so slash, and then 1 decimal word. So we want to dump 1 decimal word. A word is a 4-byte. A word is 4 bytes of data, and the address we want to dump is at hex 5C66FC. Okay. Press enter, and it should tell us this number 49. So this means that there are currently 49 allocations on the heap. Now, what we want to do is X, and then the number we want. I recommend that you do the number of allocations plus 1, and then times 4. So let's do. There's 49 allocations, plus 1 is 50, times 4 is 200, and we want to see 200 hexadecimal words. Okay, so this is going to print out 200 groups of 4 bytes each in hexadecimal, and we want to do that at address 5C6700. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Press C to continue without paging. Okay, so this is our dump of the actor heap. So the leftmost column is a pointer to the heap node that represents this allocation. Okay. The second column is the beginning of the actual actor instance. Okay, which should always be 16 bytes later. So since we're in hex, that it corresponds to 1 in the 16th place right here. So you'll notice here this is a 0, here this is a 1, here this is a 6, here this is a 7, here this is a 7, here this is 8, etc. Okay. Now this column is the size of that actor, and then this column, these 2 bytes are what type of actor this is, and these 2 bytes are whether that space tells you if that space is free. So let's talk about this first. So these 2 bytes tell you what type of actor this is. So for example, 2 is player. So this is link right here. Size hex 2A50, actor type 2. And in an unmodified version of the game, link is always at this address right here. He's always the first thing in the actor heap. Some other things, I don't know, I'll do an example in a second. So if you see a 1 right here, that means that this space right here, this allocation is actually free. So if something new, is this the first one? Yeah, this is the first one. So if something new gets spawned in with size less than 3A0, it's going to spawn in this location. Okay? So for example, a bomb is actually smaller than 3A0. So let's go ahead and go back to the game and pull out a bomb. So continue. So let's pull out a bomb, throw it over there, I guess. And we'll go back into frame advance and press D down to dump the actor heap, or to set the values, I guess. Go back to GDB, Control C to interrupt the game. Okay, now let's take a look at how many actors there are now, and now you'll see there are 50 allocations. Last time there was 49, now there's 50. Okay, so let's go ahead, I'll bump this up by 4 more words, and take a look at those 50 allocations. And so a bomb is actor type 3, and you'll notice right here we get an actor type 3 of size 2A0 with F0 amount of space left over, and that space is still marked as free. Okay. And now our next free space is actually the end of the heap now, the end of the actor heap. This is free, and there's this many bytes left over, 4D5F0. So now if we pull out another bomb, for example, go back to the game. Hopefully I did that soon enough. We'll dump the actors again. Go back to GDB and interrupt the game. Let's see, yep, 51. So now there's 51. And let's go ahead and dump 4 more words this time. And we can see here's the first bomb still. And now all the way at the end we should see this 3 is the second bomb we just pulled out. And now at the end of the heap we have a free space of size a little bit less than it used to be. So yeah, this is kind of the state of this actor heap viewing program, I guess. It's basically just GDB that I have in OoT3D. Now, I said I would talk about how to do this without GDB. So, what we would do is, let me detach GDB from the game process. So the way you do that is you type quit and then yes. Okay, now GDB's dead. So what we can do if you don't want to do GDB is open up the Luma menu. You want to turn the debugger off. Then go to process list and go to that CTR app. Now we want to jump to address 5C6700 and go up one line. So there are hex, this right here means there are hex 33 allocations on the heap right now. And then each line of this is going to be one of those. Now after that, these are like the 4 columns that we saw in the GDB output. So it's harder to read in this format even if you are inexperienced with GDB because this is little endian. So for example, these 4 bytes that make up an address should be read from right to left. So it's 098F5000. And then the next address is 098F5010. The size of this actor is 2A50 and the actor type is 2. And you can just scroll down to see everything. Yeah. So you can see it still says there are these bombs here. That's because I didn't update the thing. So if I go back in frame advance, press D down, and now go back to look at that memory, which is at 5C6700. Now we should see that there are 2 less allocations because those bombs went away. And if we scroll down where that 3 once was, it's still there, except now it's marked as free. Okay? So yeah, this is how the game internally marks it when the bomb is gone. It doesn't bother to like get rid of this number, for example. It just will mark this space as free. So now if something smaller than size 3A0 tries to spawn in, this is where it will spawn, is into this this location. Okay, I hope this makes sense. If you have suggestions or requests for how this works, or any questions with getting GDB, etc., DM me, leave a comment, whatever. Bye bye.